Introduction. The incorrect installation of underfloor heating can have dramatic consequences for a building. Screed can crack or even drop. Floors could be unable to withstand required weights. Pipework can be punctured. Or you can be left with uncontrollable and inconsistent heating within the building. Being underfloor, it is, by its very nature, difficult and costly to rectify after the event. It's therefore crucial that the correct quality procedures are followed before, during, and post-installation to ensure that we get it right first time. Pre-installation. Ensure that all designs have been checked and approved by all the relevant stakeholders, including the design engineers. Check that all materials to be used on site have the appropriate legislative markings, such as CE and BSEN, and that they are in line with the approved technical submission. Setting out on site. Ensure that the site has been set out in accordance with the approved drawings. You need to pay particular attention to interface details, such as fixed furniture points and floor boxes. Liaise with the building manager to see if there have been any additional changes on site following approval of the drawings, such as additional fixing points or particular areas to avoid. Check that the equipment to be used is also in line with the approved drawings. Ensure that you have the correct manifolds, complete with blending valve and pump if required. Manifolds should always include a drain cock, automatic air vent, and temperature and pressure gauges. Installation. Ensure that the prepared floor surface is fit for purpose, for example, that insulation has been laid correctly, and that any preceding QD checklists for other trades have been closed out. Check that a vapour barrier, either a tacker board or a polythene layer, has been installed. Ensure that there is no standing water and that the working area is watertight. Make sure that manifolds are installed in the correct locations and at the right height and level. Check that pipework is installed as per the drawings, ensuring cold-forming bend fixtures are used at the manifold. Make sure that the flow pipework is lagged whenever it is in transition to a different room. Also ensure that all pipes are lagged if going through a wall. Confirm that all manifolds have been labelled correctly. Ensure that the area has been appropriately protected. Testing. Before handing over, you need to make sure that the system is pressure tested. Ideally, this will be done with water, but during freezing conditions, air can be used instead. If using water, test the manifold and UFH pipework to 1.5 times working pressure. If using air, test to no more than 1 bar of pressure. Check that the pipework had been installed in one continuous loop with no joints. Complete a test certificate to be approved by the mechanical engineer or building manager. Post-installation. Check that the pipework to the manifold has been correctly fixed and supported. Check that flushing bypasses have been installed prior to each manifold. Ensure that an inline circulation pump has been installed, if required, including isolation valves on either side. Check that the pipework has been correctly insulated and labelled. Ensure that the manifolds are adequately protected against on-site damage. Once screed works have been completed, check the pressure gauges on the manifolds to ensure that no leaks have occurred. Commissioning. Ensure that the initial heat-up procedure has been completed. The temperature must be increased gradually, starting at 30 degrees centigrade, increasing this by 5 degrees every other day. Check that the actuator heads are installed correctly. Ensure that the correct actuators are linked to the associated thermostatic controls and that the pump if required, is operational. Check that any BMS or heat source link is operational. Make sure that the design flow rates are being met in accordance with the approved drawings. Ensure that the manifolds have been labelled correctly and that there is nothing missing or broken.
The incorrect installation of underfloor heating can have dramatic consequences for a building. Screed can crack or even drop, floors could be unable to withstand required weights, pipework could be punctured, or you can be left with uncontrollable and inconsistent heating within the building. Being underfloor, it is by its very nature difficult and costly to rectify after the event. It's therefore crucial that the correct quality procedures are followed before, during and post installation to ensure that we get it right first time.